Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope you're all keeping safe and well. Now today I'm going to be repotting my two Cholla bigelovis, and they're commonly known as the Cholla Cactus. And you often see them in the deserts, and usually huge big specimens that because obviously quite funny videos as well of people out and about where they get caught in them, and it is sort of quite lethal. These little spines here come off very easy onto the skin, and the pads come off, and that's how they propagate themselves in the deserts. Wild animals will be walking around, the spines would stick to their fur and skin, and the pads would fall off at another place, at another area, and then the little pads will then take root. But it is quite an amazing cactus, as I say, commonly seen in the deserts growing, and usually has sort of lovely orangey yellow coloured flowers, but the flowers do come in different colours as well. And it's one of the sort of ones that can take sort of cold temperatures if you're lucky enough to live in a lovely dry arid climate. Here in Ireland, we're in Northern Ireland, where the humidity is very high in the winter. We make sure that we overwinter these chollas at a minimum of 5°C, which is about 41° Fahrenheit, and keep it cool and dry. And then in the summer we like to give it plenty of water, as long as we allow the soil to dry out totally in between waterings, and in a very well draining cactus mix. And also that as much sunshine as you can possibly give them, because they love to have as much sunshine. Probably be many years before these grow as large as the ones you see in the deserts, but you never know one day. And I have two here. They're both the same plant, but this one is one I had probably for about 7 or 8 years now, and this one is what we got a couple of years ago, fairly recently, by this Cactine Haag, or Ulic Cactine, online, a German nursery. And this one may not need a bigger pot. I'm just going to be changing the soil on this one, but this one here definitely is very top heavy, and although the roots aren't coming through, I know it's going to need a change of soil and a bigger pot. And before I go any further, I want to give a very special thank you to my wonderful fiance Hans, who is behind the camera filming me today. So if you're not familiar with Hans's channel, Family of Cactusina of the Beauties, please do go over and subscribe to his channel. Links up above. So it means I've got my hands free now to do all of this. And also don't forget to subscribe to me too. So here we go guys. Now I've made quite a few videos on how to repot a cactus, and I've made a main video on how to repot a cactus where I show two different examples, one very spiny one and one sort of tallish. And if you've never repotted a cactus before, you just want to know how I repot a cactus, then links up above to a video now on how to repot a cactus. But in this video here, I'm going to be using the same method. I don't personally use gloves. The reason being is I find gloves a complete waste of time when you're repotting spiny cacti, because the spines just go straight through anyway. So I prefer to use, either if it's a large cactus, and some of the Opuntias have very annoying what they call glow kids, that they might look soft but you touch them and they stick to you. I'd always recommend probably using sheets of newspaper or sheets of cardboard when you're handling very spiny cacti. This is quite small and thin, so I'm just going to use a pot here just upside down. That's going to be good for me. So that's easy enough for how I'm going to be repotting this. So here we go, let's do the first one there. First of all, I'm going to squeeze the pot to loosen up the soil it's in. This should come away quite easy. I'm going to use this here, so I haven't got to touch it in any form. And there we go. It's good little root system on that anyway. And what I like to do is always loosen the soil it was in before, just so it acclimatises to its new soil. There you go, great root system. Always good to check over when you're repotting cacti, there's no signs of any pests or anything like that in the roots. That's got a great root system there. So it's just a case of then putting it into the new soil. So here we go. I'm going to empty that there. And just put that away. And then, so this can go straight back into the same pot. I don't need to clean it because no signs of bugs. It's in the pot it was in. So as I say, I'm not potting that into a bigger pot, just changing the soil of it. So here we go. A little bit more soil into the bottom of that. Let's make sure this one doesn't blow over there. And there we go. Empty place in there. This is great as well for holding. And then just going to be putting the soil all around the edges of the pot here. Honestly doing a great job there of holding the camera. I just want to mention the soil mix I'm using as well. Obviously, when you repot cacti and succulents, particularly these type of cacti, because they are very rot prone if you just pot them up in any old type of soil, I like to use a very well draining cactus soil mix when I repot my cacti. And in this case, I'm using 3 equal parts of John Innes No. 2, which is a loam based soil that has extra sand to it, added with not perlite, sorry, lava rock and pumice, and that's because it's very well draining. So grit also as well added, lava rock and pumice, and loam based soil, so it's very well draining there. So when this plant gets watered in about a week or 2, it's then going to dry out really quickly between waterings. And what I like to do when I repot my cacti, I always prefer to do it in the spring or summer. Spring is better if you can do, because more chance to get it all settled in before the main really active growing season. And also I like to sort of keep the cacti dry, as in the roots. I don't water for a few days to a week, possibly to 10 days, depending on the size of the pot, just to let the cactus roots climatise to the new soil and the new pot. And if there's any chance of any roots that have got damaged during the repotting, gives it a chance to settle down. So there we go. That's the first one done there. So tempted to just pick it up, but I won't. So it's very gently pressed down there. Don't want to press too hard, you don't want to damage any roots. So that's it. Just tap to check it's all gone down the side. So that's the first one done. Little label there. Cylindropuntia bigelovii. So that's the first one. Now I'm going to do the other one. There we go. And then same procedure with this one. It's good. I've actually got a pot already ready for this anyway. So again, very gently squeeze at the pot. This is one of them thin pots, comes out very easy. There you go. And just let you know, this white stuff is just perlite that I used from the previous mix. If I don't have grit, I'll use perlite instead. But it's always good to check all the root system and very gently loosen up them roots as well. So, and I always try to not disturb the roots as less, unless I absolutely have to. If this obviously had signs of bugs and things, I'd have to do an emergency cut and checking all the roots over and things like that. But that's pretty good. So I don't need to, the less I sort of touch it, the better as such. And that can then go into the new pot in the same way. It's actually not bad soil that it was in before, but it's good just to freshen it up and give it a bit of a boost of a new soil. And then there you go. Auntie doing a great job. Holding this in my right hand while I'm using my left hand to fill up. So I just thought I might as well do them both in the same video while I do it. Just turn it round there. I always find plant pots are great for holding very spiny, extremely spiny cacti like this. As I say, some of the ones in the deserts you get are absolutely huge. And very gently just pushing it down. You want to make sure that soil has got all around the edges of the pot without going too hard and pressing down where you're going to damage the roots. There we go. Pretty much it. So Hansi has done a great job there filming. So that's, oops, it's a little bit windy today, so sorry if there's a bit of wind noise, guys. And there we go, that's the second one done. Ta-da! Ha! That's it. It's done 2 happy chollas. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to know a little bit more on how to grow cacti and succulents, then please do check out my website, desertplantsofAvalon.com. And I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of cactus power from across the Emerald Isle. And until my next video, bye. Cactus power.